All right, everyone. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It is time for Manufacturing E-commerce Success. I am one of your co-hosts, Damon Pistolka. That pretty gentleman right over there, Kurt Anderson, is co-host, is going to take it away from here. Today, we are talking about making huge impact with manufacturers at the Purdue MEP. Kurt, this is going to be great. Talking with Art Thomas. I'm excited. Let's get going.
Let's get it rolling, brother. So, man, Art Thomas is in the house, dude. Art, happy Friday, man. How are you, dude?
Doing awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, doing very, very well.
Well, this is an honor. What an absolute privilege to have you here. You were on earlier this year. And so again, you know how busy you are. We appreciate you taking the time and energy to share, what you've got going on at the Purdue MEP. Now, last time I asked you, who was your hero? And you shared a phenomenal story about your dad. And so now, give us a quick little, for folks that missed it last time, give us a quick overview on dad. And then I just want to hit, we're talking a little bit about grandparenthood. So tell us a little bit about dad and what an inspiration he was.
Yeah, my dad was, first of all, he started preaching when he was 15. He became a multimillionaire by the time he was in his early 30s. He started 13 companies, 9 of which are still running today. I don't own them, but they're still running today. And just in general, he was a visionary. Most of the companies he started were origination of ideas. He started the first automatic car wash in the Tri-County area in Pennsylvania. It's still running today, still in the same location.
Wow.
I just met with a guy actually a couple days ago who is building houses, modular homes that he can deliver. Well, my dad started a business called Modern Home Living back in the early 70s when it was, modular homes that they would put in. And he built 60 of those in our local town. And so, again, back in the early 70s, people around our area never even heard of a modular home. Yeah. And of course, there was a learning curve there for that. So he was very, he had a great vision. I wish I had his vision, but I don't. And he just was very creative. He always put his ministry first, though. He preached in all 50 states except Hawaii. That's the only one he didn't preach in. And he preached in 40 foreign countries during his life. So I traveled the world and I don't know how he died when he was 60. So I don't know how he did all that in 45 years. So many days I'm depressed just thinking about what he got done and the very little I've accomplished. So anyway, definitely an inspiration.
Well, I'll tell you, in passing away young, I mean, it's like he lived 3 lifetimes, so probably exhausted himself that he's like, okay, I guess it's time. But just what an inspiration. And I want to hit again, like what you shared last time. You just hit 40 countries that your father preached at. And I know you went on some of those. I just love for folks that missed it last time. Just share a little bit on your experience of going with dad to other countries, especially like, there's conflicts around the world, just like, from a global perspective, what did that do for you as a person? And, how do you view things differently with those experiences?
Yeah, I mean, and this was something my dad always said. He said that he felt like before, one of the things it did for his ministry was that it gave him a perspective on culture and what culture plays into some things that we may not understand other cultures do. So as far as with my dad, I traveled the Middle East with him. He made 13 trips to Israel and was there literally 1 year after the 6-day war. So it's interesting that we're seeing some of those developments again, but he was there 1 year after that. And I was over there with him. And then I did do a lot of business trips into Asia. So Japan, China, Hong Kong, spent a lot of time in those 3 countries. But in general, it just gave me a very high appreciation for people And you will find out, at least I've witnessed this, that no matter where you go, people have some of the basic desires, of taking care of their family, loving their family, being able to raise them, invest in them. And so when you find out we have a lot in common, way more in common than what we do that maybe isn't in common, when you actually get down to real people. And it's, so often the real people are not the ones in the news either. That's not, what we see is not the normal person in that environment. And so, so I gained a big appreciation for just people in general, and the fact that the differences make us unique, but it also gives us a way to see the world and help us to be stronger as people. So really helped my dad. I believe that was one of the reasons he was so innovative, was because he traveled so much and was able to get ideas in different places to be able to implement. And so, been a huge blessing in my life as well to get to travel to quite a few foreign countries.
Yeah.
Well, what a phenomenal perspective. Thank you. I tell you, I could listen to stories about your dad all day. And so again, thank you for sharing that part. And, and you're paying it forward. So again, I guess, we're here, we're going to talk about the Purdue MEP. We're talking manufacturing. We're going to even get into a little AI, but, I love talking a little bit about families. So let's go here. I appreciate your humility, but dude, you are like grandfather of the year.
Yes.
And so I know you had a new addition recently. Just share a little bit on what's going on with the Thomas family, and then we'll get back to business in a minute. But just what tell us about the new addition in the family.
So I have 12 grandkids now. The last one was born at the beginning of October, little boy. And interestingly, that because he's the second boy that was born with the Thomas name, and so my oldest son was named after me, but there's not going to be another Arthur. So the last Arthur was my oldest son, and he was Arthur number 7. Now they all weren't juniors. Yeah, they weren't all juniors, but there was Arthurs going back for 7. So that would have been
7 generations.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, but they did name him in such a way that his initials are Art. So, yes. So I'm hoping that turns into Little Art, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 12 grandkids, and very excited, and they all live within 5 minutes of my house. So we spend a lot of time with them and all their cousins and they're just, it's awesome. It really is. It's a blessing to have that many of the kids right around the house. So anyway, very excited.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on the new addition and the 12 grandkids. And I know your dad is looking down super proud on what you're doing and everything going on there. So let's dive into the Purdue MEP. We're talking the Purdue Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and just share with folks who are not familiar with the MEP network or Purdue in particular. What is the MEP? What's Manufacturing Extension Partnership?
Yeah, so if you've not heard of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, it's a national network that has 51 different centers. Every state has one, and also Puerto Rico. They are each one is partially sponsored by NIST, which is part of the Department of Commerce. NIST is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and the one for the state of Indiana has been at Purdue since 2005. And we serve the state. And again, we're very active in what we do. So, last year we talked to 1,000 unique manufacturers. Now that's not mass emails, that's actual conversations. So we had 1,000 unique companies that we spoke with, and we had contracts of about 500 of those. And if you include all of our workshops and the people that from different companies that came to our workshops, we actually touched 1,500 manufacturers in the state last year alone. So we're very active. We're trying to be the group that these manufacturers reach out to, knowing that we not only can bring excellent services and insights and consulting and training and all those things, but we have a team that is dedicated to looking for grants that can help our manufacturers as well. So not only are we bringing the knowledge and those things, but we also go out of our way to try to find ways for manufacturers to benefit from money that might be out there that would help our manufacturers in the state of Indiana. So, for instance, right now we're doing free CMMC1 and CMMC2 audits and remediation. So that's something that we've worked hard, and over the years we became recognized as being able to deliver, and also find those companies that we can help to get to that point. So that's just one thing, but the point is that we're out there doing a lot of different things right now. One of the big things we're doing is we are conducting a very large study to find out how Indiana manufacturers can position themselves to be involved in the semiconductor and EV business. Now, I do understand the EVs are, kind of in a limbo right now, but that is going to happen. It's just timing. That's where we're going. And so being able to help Indiana companies pivot, or at least take advantage of those opportunities. And so we're doing a study to find out what is it that is required for manufacturers to get into that space, and what certifications, all those things. And then with that, find out where our Indiana companies are. So we're in a position to help them over the next 5 to 25 years to be in those markets, and to be able to profit from the large expansion that's happening here in the state, especially in those two markets. So and that's another thing. It's a total. So we have about 40 people that are full time with the center, and then we have probably another 40 to 50 other individuals and companies that we work with that bring in, specific services such as yourself, Kurt, and that it's awesome because we work with good people. That's our big thing is we hope that the services we're bringing, this isn't just us going out and saying, hey, here's somebody, they can help you. We try to vet them, and part of the vetting is that we've used them, and we also vet through the network, and you're aware of that. I mean, you've witnessed how the network vets each other. And so if we're needing somebody, we're going to check in the network and say, hey, is there somebody that you guys really, so it's a great opportunity for those people, companies in the state of Indiana to take advantage of. So.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for that explanation. And what I'd like to do, so folks just stopping by, Damon, we've got a couple
comments here. We got Usman stopping by, said, greetings from Usman. Thanks for stopping by today. We got Michael Larson here today. Mike with Schoolie Mitchell on. He said, albeit a few minutes late. Thanks for being here, Michael. If you're out there listening, make sure to drop a note in here, and we will drop the comment online and get it out there.
That's
Kurt,
right.
This is awesome, man.
Yeah, it is awesome. And big shout out to Mike for joining us at Schoolie Mitchell. Our good friend Adam Baker at Schoolie Mitchell. He likes to pop on the show. So Mike, great work that you're doing. And hey, and Rhea just popped in from Barbados.
Hello, Rhea. Hi from Barbados. Ooh, I bet the weather's a lot nicer there than it is here right now.
Yeah, I think maybe just a little. But all right, so as we're diving in, Art is explaining for our friends out there, our manufacturers out there, there's a thing called the Manufacturing Extension Partnership.
Yep.
And as Art is explaining, just what an incredible, powerful resource. Art, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and here we are at Purdue. And the great thing is, not every MEP is parked at a university, but what's wonderful in the great state of Indiana is that here you guys are parked at, probably one of, if not one of the top engineering schools in the United States, right at Purdue. And so again, what you can do is you can go to the Purdue MEP website, and Art, just checking this out, like you're saying, like just the dedication just a relentless drive and passion for helping manufacturers. Like this program right here, I love this one. 3 quick ways to take care of me as a manager. Like, I think that's a great topic. But are there any particular, all these programs look phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that you want to hit on?
Well, I would just say there should, we have been really trying to help companies in the space of AI. We just completed several of those workshops. We are also very excited about when you're looking at the leadership of really looking at how do we take care of the people that are working in a facility. So even though maybe the workforce you're now where you need to be as far as staffing, you still want to be in a position where those people like working there. I know for the last year, 2, 3, whatever, workforce has been hard to come by, and so people were very focused on treating their staff correctly. But don't let the fact that maybe now staffing might be a little bit easier get you away from still looking at that leadership aspect and realizing that they're still your greatest asset, because we know that one of the things we're seeing is how do we transfer knowledge has been a big question, and we've been working on that. How do we transfer knowledge? And so that's been also a big thing. When you go down through our workshops, we get these workshops set up based on input from that local area manufacturing group. So we're not just out there flinging, hey, let's put this up, let's put that up. We're actually listening to the people. And some companies say, hey, we've got 2 people. How do we get 2 people through these programs? And so what we do is we say, well, no problem. We'll set one up in your local town, and then we'll invite other people, because if you have that need, it's very likely that the people in that surrounding area also have that interest. And so that's really how these workshops are set up, is by listening to the clients and just seeing where they're at and what they need. So,
well, and it's great because you, being part of the MEP network and MEPs in general, can set up those regional things. It's very specialized training that just like you said, multiple manufacturers needed in the area. And now you're bringing 6, 10, 20 manufacturers into this one place. It makes it a good opportunity for everyone to get that specialized training they need, and everybody benefits, as is the goal of the MEP, to help everyone go. So,
and you can see that Kurt's on there right now is by city, so you can even go in there and look and see. And again, that changes based on where the cities are that need it. And so we're very active. This is constantly a dynamic set, and we don't have a schedule where we just go, okay, every quarter this is going to run, and every we're really in a mode of saying we want to serve the needs of the local community.
Yeah. I love, and it's great, like, say, for example, like I'm mousing over Elkhart, so for folks aren't familiar, I believe that's like the RV capital of the country, right, Art? If I have that correct? So like their needs might be What's that?
Well, no, I was just going to say, I just ran the report this week, and Indiana is the #1 RV manufacturer in the United States.
Yeah. And if you drive by Elkhart, it's so like what's going on there might be completely different than like what's going on in Kokomo, another wonderful industrial city, all the way down to, say, Columbus, where Cummins is located. So what I love what you're saying is like different communities have different needs, so it's not a one size fits all. So you're really hitting up that particular community. Hey, Damon, I'm going to stop sharing real quick. I think we got a couple more.
Oh, we got a couple comments here. Drew,
Drew's in the house.
Drew, great to see you here, Dave. Hi from Core Business Solution. MEPs are a great resource for manufacturers. We were just talking to Drew yesterday. It's awesome what they do there.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Drew, I don't know if Drew and the folks at Purdue, you guys need to connect. They do wonderful work with ISO, with ITAR, with cybersecurity, and so they work with multiple MEPs around the country. And so, Art, as a matter of fact, I might have introduced you to Drew at the MEP conference in Chicago. I was when I had my little table there. Drew was at the table right next to me, so I think I might have connected you guys. So
that's awesome. Then we got Phil Miller here today. He said joined a little bit late, but he also said, I just met a few people from the MEP, and that's awesome because getting out there and meeting them is the start. And you will soon find out how many resources they really have for manufacturers. And it's quite mind boggling, I will say.
It is. And all right, let's go here. As you mentioned, one of the great things, and, I give a shout out to your team. My good, and I'm always afraid to do this because we'll leave out somebody, but from Kyle to Renee to Jean, Julie, top to, your director, just top to bottom, you guys really have the who's who, just a phenomenal team. Let's go there. Just share a little bit on the expertise, the passion that you guys have at Purdue when a manufacturer reaches out to you, what does that look like?
Yeah, well, let me just start with Renee. She's our executive center leader, director, and I want to brag a little bit on her. She was just last week was at the White House, was invited there as one of the people to talk about workforce development. And so we are recognized, and there was, I want to make sure there was, I think, 6 or 7 maybe MEP centers represented there.
Nice.
But we are definitely one of the top ones when it comes to, of course, Indiana, as you know, #1 GDP from our state is manufacturing. So we certainly, but in addition to that, she's a great collaborator. And she's got another special engagement that's coming up that we just found out about the other day. So that'll be coming out as well. But in addition to her, then, when you look through our staff, you're going to find that the people are very industry savvy. They've been in the industry. We're not talking about just people that have book knowledge. We're talking about people who have been in the industry, have been doing what they're talking about. And then when you get into the different locations, you brought up Kyle. I mean, great background in advanced manufacturing, great background with a lot of things to do with how do we advance helping companies get automation. Well, now he's also one of our industry advisors for the central west part of the state. So, but all the way through, when you go up and down, when you look at Jean, great background in the Navy, and was captain of a submarine, and and now works for the Purdue MEP and helps us with the military and getting companies set up. He also runs our cybersecurity portion, has a lot of knowledge in that area. So again, it's just everybody that's here. I've told many times, I tell our own team, but I've told a lot of people, it's the best team I've ever been a part of. And as you're going through this list, you just got Aaron Bailey, literally one of the experts in the MEP network. I'm not exaggerating that. He gets hired by other MEPs to do workforce, to do Salesforce programs. And you see the Stalin right underneath him. Stalin is it's hard to explain Stalin. He was voted as by the national MEP as the new last year. He was he won the award for the best new employee for MEPs. Wow. But he gets ratings of almost 5 out of 5 all the time when he's out there doing instruction. So anyway, you can just go through this list. It's never ending. And if you go in and look at the profiles on these people, it just blows your mind of how much time and of what you're really getting when you get MEP to come into your facility. You're getting a wealth of information, and it's very exciting. Best team I've ever worked on for sure.
Well, man, I'll tell you, dude, you are blessed. And I'll tell you, here's our dear friend, Julie. So if she's listening, we got to give a dear friend. We need to work on her. We're trying to get her on the show sometime, but Julie's phenomenal, does a lot of the marketing. We got Deetra, does amazing work with your manufacturers. And again, like right up and down the list, Damon, we've had numerous of his teammates on. Jeremiah came on a couple of summers ago and just completely smashed a home run for us, Art. So, again, what the comment here, what the point is just look at the wealth of talent and expertise that an MEP brings to a manufacturer, where for small manufacturers, say you're 10 employees, 12 employees, you can't cover every angle. You've got blind spots. And what's awesome is you have a team like the MEP network that comes in, they identify those blind spots for you with an objective viewpoint to help you move the needle, to help take your company to the next level, and just to keep manufacturing great products. So it's just awesome.
Yeah. And one more thing too, and I just got to bring this up. You're sitting here looking at the Purdue MEP, but it doesn't mean that if you're in Montana or Texas or Arizona, you get to tap into the Purdue MEP as well. If they don't have the expertise in your local state, they are more than happy to reach out to the MEP network and find the expert, not an expert, the expert they have in their network to help you in your specific situation. And we've had people on the company we talked to from Alaska, specialty tea manufacturer, and was going to go out and buy some equipment. Didn't really know, but doing like most business owners do, go out and I'm searching, I'm reading, doing the Google thing, figuring out who makes this stuff. Well, she contacted the local Alaska MEP. They contacted the national network. They found a specific expert, and I don't remember from where they're from.
It was from Jersey. They found a third-party provider in New Jersey.
Yep. And then they were able to find the equipment that she needed for half the cost or something like that. It was like $50,000 less. Yes. And this is a small business. So we're not talking about, this is like life-changing or business-changing money for this company. And I just want to say real quick, this MEP team is accessible by you from wherever you are in the United States as a manufacturer. That's so cool.
Yeah. And Art, you would have loved, and so we brought this woman on. It was a client we had worked with. Damon and I actually met her at a workshop that we did at the Alaska MEP. Absolutely delightful. She started a tea company. Like who thinks to start a tea company in Alaska in the middle of COVID?
In the middle of COVID.
What an inspiration that was. And she, anyway, she because the MEP on our live show, we didn't, know she was going to go there. She saved $60,000, and she said the MEP allowed me to start my company debt free. And it was just so wonderful. And I know you guys have tons of stories. We've got our dear friend Renee. She's been on the show before. So big shout out to your director here. And so anything else you want to add? Because then we're going to dive right into we're going to geek out, have a little AI conversation. Any other comments we want to make about Purdue MEP, your team, anything there?
Yeah. I mean, I could talk all day about our team.
Yeah, I know.
So it probably just, because honestly, I know it sounds, cliche-ish, but it's the truth. Yeah. And it's what I've told people forever. We have an unbelievable team, and it's just exciting.
That's just great.
Yeah, and we've had clients of yours on the show in the past. We've had Popular Foods, and we've had other folks. We've talked to Steel City Steels. We've done webinars with the team there. So it's been a privilege and honor for us to have a front row seat just to see the impact that Purdue can have with manufacturers. Let's slide into that AI conversation. I don't know, Damon. A couple of people around the country have been talking about AI just a little bit here and there, right?
I've heard about it.
Is that a thing, right?
Yeah.
So, let's go there. What's going on with manufacturing? What's going on at the Purdue MEP from an AI perspective?
Well, this is one of my passions right now, and it has been for probably the last year. I'm very excited and concerned. I believe manufacturers are really missing a huge opportunity if they are not looking into AI. And I am not the guy who designs AI or knows how to develop it, but I am a person who is probably, as a user, I educate myself on how it works, and I use it every day, multiple times a day. And so I look at this, and the way I look at it is that there's really two different levels that a manufacturer needs to be aware of. The first is the user side, meaning there are people in your company that can take advantage of AI at a very distinct, just a normal user level. And let me just give you some ideas of what I mean here. And again, I'm not talking about sharing, proprietary information or doing anything that's like, oh my goodness, this is just going to be, I'm going to put out my next design mode or not. No, not any of that. I'm looking at this saying, let's just look at purchasing. Okay, I'm working in purchasing and I'm a buyer. and I'm getting ready to buy from a new company, and I want to find out what their policies are. And so I look up and I take their supply manual, or and say, I can look it up and say, where are the things? If there's distinct things, I can just put it in there and say, give me the distinct things that that they focus on in their quality manual. Are they ISO? Are they? You can just start asking all these questions by taking their quality manual and simply letting AI tell you what's in there instead of trying to read 50 pages. The same thing if you're going in to sell to someone. What are the requirements for a supplier? And I've done this numerous times and helped clients understand how to do this. The other thing you can do is you can maybe put 2 of those manuals in there, right? If you're in your own quality, let's say you're running the quality department for a company, and you say, well, I really want to have a quality manual and I want to have this and that. Okay, well, you can put in multiple quality manuals, and you could say, hey, take the or show me every component in all of these. So now you get to breeze through quickly all the different elements from multiple manuals and see which ones you might want to use. And it just goes on and on. If I'm in receiving, okay, I may want to look and see what, I'm having this issue. Well, you can get on there and very quickly start finding out, is this something that's common? Is other people talking about it? Is this an issue? And so it goes on and on. Sales, of course. I mean, if you're in sales and you're not using AI, I don't know what to tell you, but you're wasting a lot of time that you could be getting back. So the point I'm making is that's at a personal level. You're not bringing in a brand new system or spending a bunch of money. You're just literally educating your people on how to do their jobs more effectively and efficiently using AI. Okay, so to me, that's one level. And then the other level would be, okay, now you're talking about a large learning language model in your facility, right? And developing, okay, how am I going to work through, put all my work instructions in there. So instead of somebody having to read, all these documents, which they're not going to do. Okay, anybody that's written work instructions knows nobody's reading them. But if they could just put in the question they want to know at that particular time and get an answer, well, now that's valuable, right? And so, customer service then becomes a big thing. As we build this and as we learn customer service, even if you say it's not going to be a bot, you're going to keep your customer service people. Well, why not shorten down the time that person has to be on the phone by allowing them to develop and understand? I can just type in a question here, and any time we've ever had this happen before is now in the system. It's just amazing. And so I have a lot of passion that if people are not engaging in this, and small companies especially, they're going to get beat out because they're going to have too much overhead.
Yep. And when you talk about these things like customer service, and people think, well, is it replacing people? I always come back to the fact is your customer service is probably one of your highest turnover areas in the first place. So, and in manufacturing, we have so many people retiring. So you've got your senior customer service people that have amassed 20, 30 years of knowledge sometimes that are leaving. And there's no way that transfer of knowledge can come into these other customer service people, first of all, which I think if you could figure out how to get that into a model, it would be awesome for the existing customer service. But then if you see that that's a position that we simply can't keep people in and our turnover is high for whatever reason, a bot might be a way for you to take off half of the work that's just answering simple questions in your large language model. Your customers be able to answer their questions, and let your customer service people do the important things where that interaction, that one-on-one interaction, really adds value to you as a company and them as a customer. I think it's going to be fun seeing how that turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other services that we're doing for people is taking their work instructions and turning them into videos. And so, one of the things you're going to see as you bring in a new generation is they generally don't like to read. I'm not saying there's not some that do, but most of the people you hire don't want to read. And so being able to take all your work instructions that you've spent years developing and get them into very short animated videos that people can learn from is another way to also drive and improve your ramp up time for your employees and to give them a knowledge base to draw from. So that's another thing that's
Wow.
Now again, that may not fit in some small businesses, but think about, instead of sitting down and saying, hey, here's your 10-foot thick book of work instructions, you just say, hey, and here's a website with, and basically you just type in, this is what I'm looking for. Here comes a video. It's 3 minutes long, and it tells you literally what's in a procedure, but it's done animated, and it's done, maybe in some cases we were able to use videos that actually show that, animate it being done. So I mean, that other side, so you have, I feel like there's two sides. I think it's the stuff that your employees can literally currently go access if they're trained correctly. And then the second part would be your internal systems and looking at integrating AI into your systems, right?
Yeah.
And so in both cases, I'm very passionate because I believe that if small and medium, this is one of those areas that if you don't take advantage of, I promise in the next 5 to 10 years, your overhead will kill you because it's going to drive a lot of overhead down.
Well, Art, I absolutely love your passion. I'll tell you, that's one thing. I think we've been kindred spirits since the time we met, where, when I've been on calls with you, like you're very, you're tactful, you're polite, but you're firm. Where like what he just said, like I've watched Art say that to clients, like, you guys really, whatever you do, whether you do it with us or whoever, like you need to do something now to be to remain competitive. And I really admire how you tackle that. So this is now, Damon, for me, selfishly, I love what you're talking about, the sales portion. Are you comfortable? Could we go in a little bit of a deeper rabbit hole here? Like, let's say there's a person out there, they're in sales and their ears just perked up. Our buddy Drew's here. And again, guys, drop us a note. Let us know you're out there. We're here with Art Thomas from the Purdue MEP, very passionate about digital transformation. I've seen Art do a presentation in front of hundreds of people. Art, you're a wonderful presenter and very passionate about this, especially with AI. There's a sales folks out there, and I'm raising my hand, me included. You mentioned a couple of the tactics. How can we take that in a deeper dive on how AI can help our salespeople out there? Can you go there for a minute?
So at a very basic, let me give you several levels. To me, at a very basic level, right, it allows you to research an industry or a company very quickly. So if I'm going into a company, yes, I can go in, I can purchase, IsBiz, or I can purchase Duns and Brad or whatever. But you can also just literally type in a company name and say, what's been the news in this, or what industry are they in? What industries are they in? What type of companies supply to this industry? I mean, you can literally take that company that you're going in to see, and you can look upline from that of like who their suppliers are, what kind of suppliers talk to these types of companies or supply. And then on the other side, who are they selling to? What kind of companies are they selling to? And so immediately, with very quickly, you can discover a lot about the company you're going in to see and go in there intelligent about the problems they're facing, right? Or the challenges. And also go in there understanding, hey, this may or may not be a good time to talk about this or the other, right? Sometimes what you say that you shouldn't say is a bigger deal than what you didn't say that you should have said. So that can always be overcome. But if you say something you shouldn't say, you ain't getting out of that one very easy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those kinds of things that come out. But then let's say you go to the next level and you're like, okay, I know that they're into this product, or I know they're this. Okay, now I can go in and find out what are these things being used for. Then if you get below that and you say, okay, well, I know this company. I really believe they need our help. I've been trying to get in here. Hey, all of a sudden you can use, for very little money, you can find things that are linked in with LinkedIn, and you can find and be able to start finding individuals that are with this company, but also be able to find out, how do I get a hold of them, right? Because LinkedIn, you can't, in many cases, can't get an email, you can't get anything, which is fine. And this isn't going to be like a mass where you're going to be able to go out and just find a mass amount of information, but that's not the way you should be approaching it anyway. You should be looking for specific people in that company that that's the person you need to talk to. And so there's help there for that. The other thing I would say is what happens if, for us, okay, we have regions and sometimes we have to travel a ways to get to that region. And yes, we can get on a map and we can go through and we can say, well, man, the nice thing with this is you can go in there and say, hey, I'm going to this area. For us, what are the manufacturers that are located within 5 miles of where I'm going? And all of a sudden, boom, I've got these names and I can go in and start researching. And so I'm just telling you, I use it all the time. And I'm just giving you the stuff that is either free or very, very inexpensive.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, a $20 subscription for the premium ChatGPT just takes you light years ahead. At most, and the free version is awesome as well. So it's amazing what it's done for me. I mean, you talk about, you look at all the different places, right? Even if you're in accounting or you're in engineering or something in quality where you've got to do heavy Excel work. One of the things that I didn't realize is you just tell it what you want to do, tell it what columns it's in, tell it that you're trying to do, and bing, bang, boom, the formulas come out and you go, I have never seen that formula in Excel before. And I'm someone I started using like way too long ago, before Excel was a thing, right? And it's coming up with stuff you go, I cannot believe it does this. Yeah. And so these time saving parts of AI now, it's just to distill ideas even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me give you, we're running a new workshop that's going to be ran in Elkhart. I don't think it's on our website yet, but it's going to be happen in December. So your people are getting a heads up on this. That's going to be called AI, the Spreadsheet Killer. So it's going to be running up in Elkhart, and we're going to be literally going into how we're going to be having people bring a spreadsheet and how many hours they spend working on it, and then literally be able to show them this is what you're talking about. Yeah. And so, but you're exactly right, Damon. I mean, and here's the thing. Let's just say you love Excel. You don't want to do it in AI, whatever. Well, what about when you have to write, let's say, Visual Basic code to do something in Excel? Well, you can sit there and key it all day if you want to, or you can just go in and ask ChatGPT, hey, could you code me something that does this? Bingo, out comes the code. You can modify it, then paste it into the program, and bingo, you're ready to go. My son is a programmer, my youngest son, and he has told me multiple times, Dad, once I learned Python, all these other, everything else he's learned, he said, it cuts my time down from writing 100 lines of code. I can literally get 100 lines done in 2 seconds and then go through and modify. Right. And so again, it's just like, there's to not be using this is just mind numbing, because it literally will change your life and change what you've done.
Yeah. It's like an encyclopedia at your fingertips to do whatever you want. And then the output is yours. And even like Kurt, we had that person on from a pump or a gear manufacturer who he took a lot of their spreadsheet like calculators. This is, if you're going to do this kind of thing, you need this gear ratio, blah, 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 blah. Pumped it into chat. It made a CSS code of whatever you call it.
HTML page for
HTML page, so people could do it online. So there are people out in the field or customers could say, I want this on this, and it kicked out all the specifications. It was insane. Right. And it was like you said, it was like bing bang boom, it's done. Modify it and you're ready to go.
Right.
And my passion is really that manufacturers see this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there's individuals like myself, like you, Damon, like Kurt. There's people out there that are doing it themselves. That's great. And that's wonderful. And I'm excited. But what I'm really passionate about is helping manufacturers understand, to educate their people inside their organization on how and what they can do to help that company make more money. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about that small company being profitable. And that's where I feel like we're kind of missing the boat, because yes, the early adopters are already there. They're already doing stuff. In fact, you could probably say the next level of adopters, right? But my point is there's still a lot of people manufacturing are not using this tool. And I know that from personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you could imagine a production supervisor, a shipping person, or whoever it was that had a problem they were trying to solve, and go into Chat GPT and say, this is the problem I'm trying to solve. What are some of the solutions that have been used elsewhere in the world for this? Just that.
Yeah.
How much would they go from, I'm sitting here trying to figure this out, to now I've got 6 ideas and 2 of them are actually pretty relevant. So let's take a look at those. It's going to be cool when it really gets adopted widely.
Yeah. And hey, and Drew drops another comment here, Damon, about
Yep. Drew Markley dropped another one. He said, great information regarding AI. We're starting to receive interest in ISO 42001 from small to medium-sized manufacturers. And he dropped the ISO certification page in there. That super cool to see that people are doing that.
So let's go here, and I'm keeping you way over time. I appreciate it. So let's go here. What's you talk about your dad being so innovative. I'll tell you, man, you definitely got that innovation bug, because we're not. Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm not a young guy, but you're just really leading the charge on just staying ahead of the curve, and your passion and contagious enthusiasm is just so inspiring of helping manufacturers. And guys, if you connect with Art here on LinkedIn, his headline, helping small and medium-sized businesses in Indiana to be more profitable. And that's what you just said that 2 minutes ago. What's inspiring you? What's driving you to stay ahead of the curve to help your manufacturers?
Well, I look at it 2 ways. One is I feel like when you quit learning, you're dead, right? And I'm a lifelong learner. I'm not going to go through the degrees that I've got, but I will tell you I'm 57, and in January I started my doctorate degree.
Did you?
Yeah. So
nice.
Now, do I think all of a sudden I'm going to be like world renowned? No, I want to learn. And being at Purdue, of course, there's some funding to help with that. So I feel like I'm crazy if I don't take advantage of it, because I want to learn. And so the number one reason I want to stay ahead of is I want to continue to learn. The second thing is that I spent my whole life in small business, small, medium-sized businesses. I did everything from when I started in janitorial when I was 19 till I was vice president of operations. I've done almost everything in between there. And I have been in those situations wishing that somebody could help me, and I didn't know who to call. And I didn't want to get roped into some company that's just out there to make money, because then you can't get rid of them. They never stop calling you. And so I was very, and so I'll be honest, when I was 26, so that's been a long time ago, 30 years ago, I actually used what was then called BMT, which is now Purdue MEP. BMT was Business Modernization and Technology. And I was in quality, and I was a brand new quality. I was actually in control of a metrology lab, and I needed help. I need people come in and help me. And they were there to do that. And I look at it now as me trying to help those people that I know where they've been, because I've been there my whole life. And I'm very passionate about that. When I walk into a facility, I've been there. I've walked into a facility where the guy met me at the door. The production manager's like, dude, I can't meet with you today. One of the places that does our plating burnt down last night, and all of our parts were in there. Okay. I get it. I totally get it. Like, okay, this is like World War III to that company, right? Because now they're fighting battles, customer battles, supplier battle. I mean, it's crazy. And so I've lived that. And when I go in there, that's who I see. I see me. I see me there. So I feel like when I'm helping them, I'm helping me be better and learn. And I'm in the position where I can spend the time to learn, because I'm not in that everyday rat race of just getting production out the door. A lot of times when you're in that position, you don't have time to learn. You don't have time to invest in yourself because you have no time, and even your family suffers. So I look at it as me giving relief or giving assistance to those people who need time back in their life.
Drop the mic. That was. How do you even top that, Damon? That was just.
I don't know.
Was just, dude. I don't know how you pull it off, man. I don't know how. So you got a lot of that preacher from your dad, didn't you?
That's awesome.
I absolutely love it. So hey, we've got let's before we wind down, Damon, we've got a comment from our buddy Skyler out there.
Skyler, he said, do MEPs provide grants for these type of tools to be created? And I believe they do. They have grant opportunities. As you said, when we started into this, Art, you've got a complete team that's looking for different grant opportunities to help offset some of these costs for manufacturers when you're trying to develop these tools. And it is one of the things that I really think is incredible about the MEPs too, is they feel the pain of trying to keep current with these manufacturers and really do go out and try to find grant opportunities to help offset some of these costs.
Yep, absolutely. And a lot of times, companies come to us all the time and they're like, hey, this is what we want to do. Do you guys know of any grants that are out there? And we go, I'm telling you, probably at least twice a month, I'm on a phone call with a company that we are helping go to get a grant that they need to make their business grow. And so we're there to help. We're there to give assistance. We're there to look. And we have agreements with people that can use AI to go look for the grants as well. So absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, Damon, I've got like a full, page of notes here. This was a master class.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you, you gave me tons of ideas, Damon. We're going to be implementing these. That was just absolutely brilliant. I hope our manufacturing friends, anybody out there right now, or if you catch us on replay, anything that you missed, man, go back and hit that replay button because Art dropped tons of golden nuggets here. And again, like this isn't super sophisticated, off the charts. Art, you were just talking like basic AI tools that our sales folks, production folks, HR, customer service. I mean, like you hit like every box. It's awesome.
Hit the spots.
Hit the spot. So, all right, we'll wind down. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom? Folks can find you on LinkedIn at the Purdue MEP. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share with everybody as we close out?
I think I would just say to companies in general, and again, I don't feel like I'm like, the person that's got all the insights, but I will tell you this, there are, I think in general for the MEP, I've been to all of the, the big shows, and I will tell you that behind the scenes, as well as what you see, it's the same. The MEP and the people in the MEP are very concentrated on helping manufacturers make more money. And so, again, just excited that you guys offered me this opportunity. And certainly, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, even if you're not in Indiana, feel free. I'm open. You can post my email if you want to, if that's something that people want to have. I don't know if you want me to put it in chat or if you just want me to say it. Either way, I can do that, whichever one is best.
Yeah, so connect with Art right on LinkedIn. Art, if you want to go ahead and share your email, that'd be great. And while he's doing it, as we mentioned, connect with the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, connect with MEP. Yep. And Art, man, we're super excited. We have the interim director, the acting director, Nagesh, is going to be on the show this Monday. And so we're just super excited just to hear from an overall view what's going on with the MEP network. So that's such an honor for Damon and myself. That's going to be right here on Monday. So, all right, let's start winding down. Damon, I want to give a big thank you to you for being our co-host. But Damon, how about a big round of applause and a standing ovation for our dear friend Art Thomas for just giving us a masterclass on not only his passion for manufacturing, but also for AI, Mr. Digital Transformation. I've seen the guy in person, and I'll tell you, he is just a rock star. So thank you for that. I want to thank everybody in the chat box today. And so, Damon, as we close out, as I always like to say, just be someone's inspiration, just like our friend Art, and you're going to make the world a better place. So, all right, Art, hang out with us for 1 minute. Damon, why don't you take it away and close us out?
All right. Well, Art, thanks for being here. Man, it was great talking about the Purdue MEP and then getting into the AI conversation here near the end. It was so helpful. And if you got into this late, like Kurt said, go back to the beginning. Listen to Art talking about the Purdue MEP, the MEP network, and how they can help you. And you will find there's a lot of gold there if you're a smaller manufacturer that really wants to help, or you could be in a bigger manufacturer and you just want to get some help with something that they can help you with. So go back, replay, get the information out of this thing and learn more about the MEPs, because they're in all 50 states. They're there to help, and they will make your company better if they all can. Mm-hmm. Thanks everyone for being here. We will be back again next week with Manufacturing E-commerce Success. Art will finish up offline, and everyone else, as Kurt says, have an awesome weekend.
See you all later. Thank you.